Hello everybody, John Craig here with Performance Plus Tennis. Welcome to today's lesson. We're going to take a deep dive into the amazing forehand of Jannik Sinner, who's having a terrific year in 2024. And his forehand is a big part of it as a top-rated forehand on the ATP Tour. And he does so many things so well. Look at the racket head speed he generates. And we're going to talk about how he generates that racket head speed, what skills he has in his forehand that you can apply to your forehand to get the most performance out of your forehand. Let's go back first, and we're going to start with the footwork. And you'll see when Jannik makes his move here, he steps out with his right foot, and he turns the toes of his right foot out to the side, and it helps turn his hips and get him into the unit turn. You can see that first move, stepping out, getting the unit turn. And he comes out, and this first ball is pulling him wide. And when he gets there and lands on his right foot, the ball is arriving. So he is going to hit an open stance. And we can see that open stance here. So you want to use the open stance when you run out of time or run out of space, as he did here. You can still load up on the back leg, still create tremendous rotation as he does, uncoil and create tremendous power. And it'll also save you 2 steps if you're pulled out on a wide ball. So there's the open stance. Next forehand he hits, you're going to see, is going to be what I call a neutral stance, where he shuffles in, puts his left foot forward. He's got a beautiful wide stance here. And now the line of his stance is pointing in general towards his target. Okay, it looks really, really good here. So that's the next stance he uses. And you'd use this more often when you are in the middle part of the court and you can get behind the ball and take a step forward. And you can see here, he's on his back leg here. And we'll just draw a little line here. As he plays the ball, look how he moves forward. He shifts into that ball and transfers his weight in. Look at that shift into the ball. And he just gets that weight transfer in. And that's part of the system of sequencing that creates tremendous power for him. And then the next one is interesting because it's also in the middle of the court. But as he makes his move, the ball comes in quickly and he plays a semi-open stance. So now his stance is more on almost a 45-degree angle. Not quite. But typically a semi-open stance is about halfway between the neutral and the full open stance. And he uses that here. And there he goes in his stance here as he plays that ball. See that? There we go. And he goes through the ball and off he goes. So we saw 3 stances there. Now, as we move ahead, we're going to see one more stance. And this is really fun. I love this stance a lot. Okay. And we're going to clean this up. We're going to move ahead. And in this particular forehand here, he's going to hit what's called a dynamic open stance, or what I call a double open stance. It's dynamic in nature and double open in technique. He lands on the right leg once, springs in the air, lands on the right leg twice. Here it goes. 1, 2. And you would use this when you're moving to the ball and you're not quite to it, and you're going to land and spring up in the air. He's still moving to his right. See how he's still moving to his right to spring up to that ball. So when he lands on the right leg, you can see he's not quite to the ball yet. We'll draw the line here, right there. Put the lines there where his body is. And then when he plays the ball, look how he's continuing to shift over. And there he goes. And it's a beautiful double open stance. Look at that. Look where he lands as he plays that ball. So he flies up in the air and he shifts over and plays it dynamically. It's a great shot. I love the double open stance. Look how athletic and dynamic that is. So if you get pulled wide and you can't load and keep your balance, just spring off the right leg. Spring off it right there. Push off. Go in the air. Play that ball and land, and with balance, and carry on. Okay? Beautiful forehands. So let's go back again. We're going to take a look from the side view and look at a couple of the things that Jannik does so well on his forehand. Okay? So when he sees the ball coming, his first move is going to be with the right foot stepping out and the left hand. And this is a key piece. Most rec players are not keeping the left hand on the racket long enough. But you can see his left hand is staying on the racket until the left hand is almost adjacent to the right shoulder. And that's exactly what you want to do, because that sets up a beautiful coil that we're going to look at later in his forehand. Okay? You'll see it from the different viewpoints, so stick around for that. And then once the left hand comes off, it does a beautiful stretch out, and it sets him up in the coil. Look at that stretch. And it's actually amazing how it's beyond parallel to the baseline. If we can get that left arm to be parallel to the baseline and get a good coil, we're in great position. Now, the other key piece here that we see is that Jannik's strings are facing the back fence. And this is really kind of the next gen forehand technique. Don't highly recommend this for recreational players who don't have the practice time to really perfect this. It takes a tremendous amount of skill to go from this position to contact. So I would say at this point in time for most rec players, I would be less inclined to be here at this stage, and I'd be in the stage where the racket face is above the hand, okay, above the hand, and the strings are facing the camera. And that will make a more simple drop of the racket to create racketed speed, but without this position. Now you might be asking, well, why does he do this? Well, he does this because this position, you're going to see this later in the video from a different angle, it puts him in a position where the racket's lagging well behind the hand. So when he starts to rotate and pull that hand forward, this little move here creates a tremendous lag, and then therefore a lot of racketed speed through the ball. Okay. But regardless of the position he's in after this, which is really his style, this position, I highly recommend you get here. Get in this position here. This is beautiful positioning. Okay. And then finally, let's take a look at where his contact point is. Contact point is forward, and the racket is vertical at contact. Amazing how the racket actually flips over. Watch this. After contact, it actually flips over. It actually turns over the ball. It doesn't open. It actually closes over the ball. Okay. Now, that's something that happens spontaneously. He's not doing that on purpose because the ball's already gone and it's only on the racket for 1/25th of a second approximately. So I don't think that's on purpose. It just happens to happen. Let's see if it happens again here when he hits right here. Let's see what happens to the racket. Comes in, hits vertical at contact, look. And this one doesn't turn over quite so much. But this angle is perfect. Okay, that's perfect angle after the ball is gone. What we don't want is the racket to be open at this stage in the swing. Okay, it actually feels like it closes over the ball. All right. Okay, let's go forward here and take a look from a back view now. It's going to be very interesting because we're going to see how he's able to use his coiling. So when he sets up to hit this forehand and we go to the coil stage with his left hand on, it just came off. Let's go back and look at it. And then it comes off. Watch how he continues to coil right here. And we're going to draw a line on his shoulder angle. Look at that. Now, when we go to contact, look how much rotation he gets to contact. His shoulders are now really facing the net. They're parallel to the baseline and to the net. So he's rotated his shoulders more than 90 degrees to get to contact. So he's generating tremendous power initially through the leg drive and the left hand pulling away. Watch his left hand here. It's beautifully stretched. And now watch it come away in a semicircle and tuck in while the right leg goes from a flexed position, a loaded position, and watch it explode up, and then the rotation happens, and here comes the shoulder power. The shoulder power into contact. That's beautiful, isn't it? So we're going to go back here. I'm going to show you something really fascinating. We're going to go back here. Here we go. Here's his line of his shoulders. And now watch how much shoulder turn he gets. He gets in here. He gets past 90 degrees. Now watch this. The momentum of that shoulder turn takes him 180 degrees. Look at that. His shoulders actually end up in the same 180 degree angle away from where they were initially. So if you're trying to get more power on your forehand, make sure you get that tremendous load in your leg, particularly your back leg. Get this amazing stretch in the left arm, and then learn how to sequence the drive of the leg with the pull away of the left arm and get those shoulders to rotate around. And look at the lag he gets there. Look at that beautiful lag. We're going to talk about that in a moment. And there's his contact out in front. And then that momentum just takes him right around into that beautiful finish. Look at that. So think about getting your body behind your swing. Get it into your swing. Let your swing follow your body around. The weight of your swing is going to come from your body. That's critical for performing a really good, powerful forehand. Okay. Next up, let's take a look at that setup he has here again. Look how the strings are now facing the camera. Now, they don't face it for very long, but you're asking maybe, well, why does he do this? Well, it's because he gets the racket to roll around his hand because it's so relaxed. It rolls around the hand right here and falls into the lag. And you'll notice here, this is called an inside-out forehand. Notice where the hand is now, and we'll put a little draw on there. And now watch how his swing goes from inside and it goes out. And now look at where the hand is now, and look at the line. It goes out away from the body. And that's also critical to creating more power. So many correct players are just simply too close to the ball to even rotate into it and then get this beautiful extension where the racketed speed happens. So you've got to make sure that you have a good measurement. Look how the ball is out away from the left hand. The left hand is actually setting up the distance, okay? And he's measuring it with the left hand while he's coiling, and then he swings out to the ball, inside and out. And then what the racket does and the hand does, watch it goes out and around. So it actually goes out from here, and let's go back in a little bit. Right there's where it starts. And now we're going to draw this line here. It goes out and it comes around. It's actually a semicircle that if there was a camera above Jannik looking down at his swing from above, you would see the pattern of his swing is semicircle. It's really what's called an angular swing. It's going low to high for sure, but it's more around, out and around in a semicircle. Now, he's hitting a lot of topspin, so let's take a look and see just how low the racket gets compared to the contact point. He hits good topspin drive. So if you think you need to get below the ball a long way, that's a fallacy. All you need to do is drop that racket about 1 foot below the ball, right there, and come up, and you can hit tremendous topspin. The ball doesn't know how low you come from. It just knows the path you're taking as you make contact. So if it's coming up on about a 45-degree angle into contact, it's going to respond with plenty of spin. And you can see Jannik is hitting a very good drive that's got a blend of speed and spin on it. So don't think about getting your racket way below the ball, because you'll end up hitting way too much spin and not getting any drive on it. And here's another one, okay? And here's another key thing. And you don't want your hand to get below the ball either. You want to get that racket head lower than your hand right there. But you don't want to be dropping your arm in, because it'll weaken you. So don't think about dropping your hand in your arm, okay? And let the racket just float out in your hand here. Look at that beautiful strike angle right there. That's perfect for generating power, okay? So lots of things covered in this video. I think there's a lot of detail in here that we need to really implement into our forehand. But the key takeaways are the setup with the left hand, the back leg. There's different stances that you can use. Pulling away with the left hand while you push with the leg. Look at that perfect sequencing right there. The pull of the left hand as the leg drives, getting the contact out in front. Beautiful and very, very relaxed and fluid. If you can implement these things into your forehand, you can improve your performance. So thanks for watching today's video. Please leave your comments down below. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. Leave us a like, and stay tuned. We've got a lot more coming here at Performance Plus Tennis. Thanks so much for watching today's video, and we'll see you in the next lesson.